There's hardly anything that frightens a person more than realizing just how immensely capable they are, how much they could actually achieve and become. Isn't that a bit odd? We often talk about fear. Fear of messing up, fear of being rejected, fear of what others might think. But what if the real fear isn't that we're not enough, but that we're actually incredibly powerful? That we might grow into something extraordinary, and by doing so, we'd lose all our excuses to stay small. You see, the road to bettering yourself, to genuine growth, to becoming someone more, it doesn't start with talent. It doesn't even start with motivation. It all begins with a decision. That quiet moment where you tell yourself, I'm going to do this. Maybe you don't know exactly how. Maybe you'll trip along the way. But you're in. You've decided. Commitment isn't loud. It isn't dramatic or flashy. It's a calm, private choice made in your own mind, and then proven through the days that follow. Now, let's dig deeper. Why do so many people feel stuck? Why do we hold back from changing, even when we know it would do us good? Because growth demands responsibility. It asks us to release the comfort that comes with excuses. It asks us to own our lives instead of blaming others, our past, our upbringing, our environment. And that's not always easy. When you choose to improve, you also choose to leave behind the version of you that no longer serves you. And in a strange way, that feels like a loss. But here's what's amazing. When you say, I can do this, you begin to take back control. And when you feel in control, peace follows. You start to see that fear, doubt, and anxiety, they only thrive in disarray. They only exist when you've let go of the wheel. Fear cannot survive in a life that's being rebuilt day by someone who shows up, who keeps showing up. With commitment, you don't need certainty. You don't need to have every answer. You just need to take that first step, a quiet vow to yourself. And that's when things begin to shift. You start waking up with a sense of direction. You show up even when you don't feel like it. And over time, that's how growth happens. Not in a big dramatic flash, but in the small choices. Saying no to the easy route, showing up exhausted but still showing up, failing and getting up again. That's what being alive truly means. That's what becoming better is all about. Living your potential not through loud declarations, but through consistent action. We've been led to believe that success is a single moment, a sudden event, but that's not the case. Success is a direction. It's a steady movement towards something better. Not perfect, not without flaws, just better. So let me ask you, not as someone who has it all figured out, but as a fellow human on the same winding road, what exactly are you waiting for? Are you waiting for motivation? For clarity? For some kind of sign? Well, maybe this is your sign. Commitment is the clarity. Saying yes is the motivation. That single choice becomes the way forward. You don't need to know everything before you start. You just need to start. Let's stop fearing who we might grow into. Let's stop backing away from the strength we already hold. Growth isn't something the world demands from you. It's something life gently offers. A quiet invitation that says you're not done yet. And the moment you answer that invitation with a steady, I'm ready, that's when transformation begins. So begin today. Not because someone says you should, but because you know you can. Because deep down, you feel there's something inside of you waiting to unfold. And once you commit, you'll discover it, and you'll become it. Let me share a thought from Brazilian author Paulo Coelho. I can control my destiny, but not my fate. Destiny means there are chances to turn right or left. But fate is a one-way street. I believe we all can choose to follow our destiny, but fate is already written. Pause and take that in. What does it mean to have power and still lack control? We like to imagine we're in charge of everything. We say things like, shape your future, be the writer of your story. But deep down, we know there are limits. We didn't choose where we were born, who raised us, what kind of world we entered. We don't decide the weather, or aging, or when our time will run out. We don't control everything. So what do we control? That's where life becomes beautiful. You see, life isn't about total control. It's about learning what to grip tightly and what to let flow. We can't change the current of the river, but we can steer our own boat. We can't stop the storm, but we can choose whether we lose ourselves in panic or stay grounded. And that's where action plays its role. The strongest cure for fear isn't feeling brave. It's doing something. Fear grows when we hesitate, when we get stuck in our heads, when we plan endlessly, but move rarely. But fear starts to fade the second we take a real step forward. Even a small move shakes fear loose. Because fear is rooted in what might happen. Action happens now. And in the now, you hold power. Being in control isn't about running the world like a ruler. It's about guiding your own heart and mind like a thoughtful traveler. Someone who walks carefully, mindfully. Someone who doesn't need full certainty, but embraces responsibility. To have control is to say, maybe I don't control the ending, but I do control how I show up today. That's true strength. That's maturity. Let me tell you a little story. A man was walking a mountain trail when the road split. One path led into a dense forest. The other went up a steep, rocky slope. He stood there uncertain. Then he did something simple. He chose. It may not have been the best path. It may not have led exactly where he hoped. But by making a decision, he stepped into his life. And that made all the difference. Because here's the truth. It's not perfect choices that shape us. It's having the courage to choose at all. Maybe you're wondering, what if I make the wrong move? But even the wrong turn teaches you more than standing still ever will. Every step holds a lesson. Every action moves you forward. The person who tries and stumbles will always grow more than the one who never takes a risk. Now think again about fate and destiny. Two words that seem the same, but are not. Fate is what you're born into. Your body, your time, your circumstances. Those things aren't up to you. Destiny, though, that's what you create. That's what you're meant to chase. You can live passively, letting days pass you by. Or you can live intentionally, meeting life head-on. Every single day, life gives you the quiet power to respond instead of react, to move instead of complain, to speak your truth instead of staying silent. And when you begin to act that way, something shifts inside. You start to feel real control, not over the world, but over yourself. And that is more than enough. So what does it really mean to take control? It doesn't mean bending the world to your will. It doesn't mean having no fear. It means this: you take ownership of your choices. You accept the things beyond you. And you move forward bravely in the space that's left. Because it is within that space, that sliver between fate and freedom, where your life truly expands. You don't have to be perfect. Just be present. You don't have to know it all. Just be truthful. You don't need to see the whole road. Just take that next step. So today, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do right now to bring me closer to the person I want to be? Then go do it. Don't pause. Don't second guess. Just act. Because control isn't something grand or flashy. It's not a prize. It's a practice. It's built quietly, consistently, with each small decision. And piece by piece, those actions build the life you long for. Fate may set you on a path, but destiny, that's how you decide to walk it.